Well, hello again, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Armchair Traveler. You know, we're just a week away from my trip to Alaska, and I wanted to show you a couple things that I put on my bike. So let's take a look real quick. Okay, so here's my bike. I'll do a quick walk around for those of you who haven't seen it, which would be most of you, I'm sure. Just getting ready to head out, like I said, in about a week for a 33-day trip up to Alaska and the Arctic Ocean. And the purpose of this little video is just to show you a couple of things that I've done to the bike that I promised I would show. So please forgive me that I'm not going to be in the shots because we're going to try to make this a quick down and dirty video. Alright, so here's the deal. I've got a Zoom H4n 4-channel digital audio recorder. So anyway, what happens is I plug cable into here, goes up into my helmet, where I just literally lay a microphone inside my helmet and turn this guy on. It's set up so that when it only comes on and records when I speak. So as long as I'm quiet, it doesn't come on, but when I'm speaking, it comes on, it records. The idea is if I'm riding along and I see something that you know, I really just kind of like to take a picture of, a video of, or whatever, and I need to either add some comment that will later show up in a video or just a comment to remind myself of something, I'm able to do that on the fly without stopping, and I thought that was kind of handy. Oh, and speaking of camera, we have the new GoPro Black series camera that'll be going on this trip. Thanks, GoPro. And this remote control is mounted. I don't know if you can see how I've got it mounted or not, but I've got it mounted up here on the handlebar, so as I'm riding I can reach right over and can turn it on and control it and see what it's doing. That's very handy. It comes off very easily at night. Let's see what else we got. Of course, we got the BMW Navigator 4. You should know about that. If you don't, that's okay. You probably don't need to. That's just my GPS. All right, now, new, I've had this BMW plug up here for quite a while. I put that in a couple years ago, but I've never used it, so now I've got a use for it. I have run this over to a what's called a power-led outlet that I've installed in my new mini Touratech bag. And what that guy does is that allows me to have some power inside my Touratech bag, and then I can run my cameras, my phones, I can charge whatever I want inside the bag. It's waterproof. I don't have to worry about batteries running down. So that's the purpose of that. Okay, anything else here that I can think of? You notice, those of you who have maybe one of these bags, you might notice something funny. I've mounted this bag to the back, or maybe it's the front, depending on how you look at it, of my top box. And it's mounted here and here on both sides. A little bit loose, but it works fine. Now, the reason why I did that, when I travel, I'm going to have two tires sitting up here that I'm carrying with me. And it's going to be very hard to get into this thing. It's going to be very hard to get into this. So stuff that I only need at the end of the day or whatever will be in here. Inside here, though, this is where I wanted to put all my camera equipment, because I needed it to be readily accessible and I wanted it to be in a nice watertight atmosphere. So what I've done is I've mounted this guy this way so that when the tires sit up here, I can open up the front and I got a nice watertight, hope you can see this, little cavern in here, and I can throw my camera stuff in there. It's readily available with the real quick unzip. It works out quite well. So looks kind of funny, but it works out just fine. Okay, now the last thing I'm going to show you as we walk around the other side, and you know, this is probably getting carried away, but I come up with the idea. I decided we'll just this trip. Anyway, we'll see how this works. Here's what I've done. I've got a battery inverter, 12-volt inverter, mounted on the front of this pannier, and here's my cord, and here's my 12-volt outlet, which I've had for a long time. So this guy can plug into here, and I got 110 volt available if I need it. So we'll see how that works. Obviously that's not watertight, so if I am in a situation where I'm going to have rain or you know, a lot of mud or something like that, maybe I don't want that sitting there, I can throw it in a pannier or maybe even up into this thing. All right, so that's where we're at. That's the bike as it sits right now, and we'll let you know when we come up with any more things. But basically, I think we're about set up, except for one thing. Yeah, you know, maybe I'm a sucker for gadgets, I'm not really sure, but I saw this in the Aerostitch magazine and I just had to have one, and I bought it, and I played with it, and it actually works. And it's called a strike alert. And what this thing does, hold this up here, can you see that real well? Okay, real quick, what this thing does is it's going to tell me how far away lightning strikes are. Now, you may think that's a little silly, but let me tell you, when you're riding around the Midwest, really lightning's not a big issue on the bike. You can usually get off the bike somewhere and get safe. Okay, but when you're out west, which is kind of where I'm going to be riding, the problem is sometimes it's a long ways between point A and point B as far as a place to hide from lightning. And take it from me, I know firsthand, it is not fun to be out there cruising along on the road and have lightning crashing around all over you. And for whatever reason out west, it seems like the lightning bolts are about 100 times bigger than they are here in the Midwest. Don't know, might be psychological, have no clue. All I know is I'm a lightning rod when I'm riding this motorcycle down the highway, and I don't really want to be a lightning rod. So with this guy here, he at least gives me some kind of an indication of how far away the lightning strikes are. It'll also give me an indication as to whether I'm moving towards or away from the storm, or maybe it's moving towards or away from me, however you want to look at it. Bottom line, gives me some idea of where I'm at lightning wise. I'm sure it's not perfect, but you know what? I have played with this thing and it is absolutely amazing. So, where should I put this? Don't know. We'll find a place though. Guarantee you that. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time here on Armchair Traveler.